Hey everybody, Brett Mix here for you for Macho Wrestling 101. Hit like and subscribe if you like my videos. I do history of wrestling all the time. I stay up to date with Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, news stories, all that stuff. So hit subscribe. You would help me out. I'm trying to grow the channel, and we're doing a Summerslam anthology today. We're going to start a Summerslam anthology with the first Summerslam 1988 from MSG. That's Madison Square Garden in New York City. It took place August the 29th, 1988, from a sold-out Madison Square Garden. We're going to do the first SummerSlam, and then we're going to go all the way, just like we did for the Royal Rumbles and WrestleManias. So if you like that kind of thing, stay tuned. All right, let's begin SummerSlam, the first one from 1988. The Rougeaus took on the Bulldogs, and this was a quick, entertaining tag team match. It wasn't the same quality as, say, Hart Foundation versus the Bulldogs, because the Rougeaus, they worked a little bit more of a methodical style, but they could still work good as well. And the Bulldogs were on the defense most of the time, as the hot tags came from them. Davey Boy would be worked out, and then he gets a hot tag to Dynamite and vice versa. And Bulldog would come in with the power moves. Had its hot spots there. There were some unique pinning attempts, some rollovers, a lot of big power inside cradles, counter inside cradles, I should say, with a flip over. There was a lot of work like that in the match that was impressive. It ended at a 20-minute draw, which is interesting because I just don't understand. I don't understand why the time length of this match would be 20 minutes. It's just such a random time. But anyways, there was enough action in this match to be good. I still rated it at 2 stars and a quarter. Next, we had Ken Patera taking on Bad News Brown. And Bad News Brown won with the Ghetto Blaster at 6:33. Not much quality here. I gave it a half a star. Next, we had Rick Rude versus the Junkyard Dog. Rick Rude was feuding with Jake the Snake Roberts at the time, but he hit his offense slow on JYD. He had a methodical style. He would do some rest holds, some chin locks. Rude would pose every single time he hit any offense. He would pose. Obviously, he was Val Venus before Val Venus was, and he was even more egotistical, if you can imagine that. Rude actually stripped his tights at part of the match, and he had a lady's face on his tights, and it was Jake the Snake Roberts' girlfriend at the time on his tights. So the JYD ended up getting disqualified because Jake the Snake came in and brawled with Rude at 6:18. So, but there was some decent action before this happened, so I gave it a star and a half. Obviously not a good rating, but that's what happens when you get a 6-minute match with slower pace and a DQ finish. Next, we had a pretty brutal match here with the Powers of Pain and the Bolsheviks, Boris Zhukov and Nikolai Volkov. I'll just say that. I can't pronounce that word for some reason. There was just big slams at this time. Those were the hot spots in this match. Just a power body slam, since it was a power man's tag. I gave it half a star. It didn't go very well. The Powers of Pain won at 5:27 after a grueling pace to the match. We didn't get a good one here. Next, we had the Brother Love Show. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was a guest. This is really skippable material. This stuff is just trash. It was not any good. I would skip it if I were you. Next, we had a 30-second epic match between the Honky Tonk Man, who was the 64-week reigning Intercontinental Champion, against the Mystery Man. He didn't care who it was backstage. He had a chance to know, and he's like, I don't care. I'm beating everyone. Oh, I think Honky Tonk Man will care. I think he'll care. Because when the hits the PA... I can't do it. The Warriors theme, it comes out and he runs to the ring. The crowd's going crazy, and the Warrior makes the Honky Tonk Man his bitch basically in half a minute. I give it a star and a half just for the moment alone. Epic began to an epic reign, and an epic title reign ended. So 2 epic reigns interlocking into one little squash match. So I gave it a star and a half. Next up, we had The Rock, Don Morocco. That's that version of The Rock, against Dino Bravo, who had Frenchie Martin at his side. Frenchie Martin was there for Dino in the match here with Morocco. This is a rematch from WrestleMania 4, I want to say. I believe I'm right on that. Frenchie Martin was in his corner, as I said. Unique body flip in the corner by Morocco, who uses his power. Bravo countered with some good shots. Bravo counters a suplex into a side slam. Pretty good, fast-paced action. Both guys did well considering all things. Dino gets out of trouble and hits a pile driver, and then Don Morocco moved when Bravo tried to drop an elbow. Morocco then got hit with a slide slam that hit Tim White down, but he still got the 3 for Dino Bravo at 5:28. So Dino goes over to The Rock, Don Morocco here. It was actually a decent match. It was more athletic than I thought it'd be. I thought it would just be a slower big man powers match, but it wasn't. It was more than that, so I give it 2 stars. It only went 5 minutes and 28 seconds, or else it might have been even another minute or two. It could have been a 3-star, maybe 2.5-star match, but I give it 2 stars. So not a bad singles match on the night. We've had a few bad ones. This is a pretty decent one. Next, we go to probably the match of the night, work rate wise. Demolition versus the Hart Foundation. Now, the Demolition are Axe and Smash, big power wrestlers. The Hart Foundation have size with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, power with Neidhart, and then technique with Bret Hart. So they were a big challenge to their tag team titles. Demolition came in the champions, and Bret sold so well for power guys. While he throws him to the buckle, he sells everything. He makes Bret make everything real. Even in his defense, he looks everything look real. His offense, he makes it look real. His defense, he makes it look real. And his selling and his bumping, he does it so well. Neidhart gets the hot tag, and he's doing power on power. Bret, they do double teams, but Axe got the megaphone from their ex-manager Jimmy Hart, who came to the ring, and behind the official gave him a whack, so the Demolition retained the titles at 9:49. I gave this match 3 stars. It was it was good, very good for this time, and this episode of SummerSlam episode, this yearly show, SummerSlam. So yeah, 3 stars for that match. Demolition retained the titles. Hart Foundation did a great job. Next up, we have the Big Boss Man versus Coco Beware. Bossman was fairly new to the WWF at the time. This one was decent, actually. I expected another slow big man match, but no, Coco, not that Coco's huge, but Bossman is, Ray Traylor. Bossman wins with a sidewalk slam at 5:57 and then gets a nightstick to Coco after. I give it 2 stars. It was actually a decent match. So the last 3 matches on the show were decent. The Bossman and Coco, Demolition, the Hart Foundation, and Morocco Bravo. All 3 were decent. Moving on to Hercules versus Jake the Snake. Another decent match here. Hercules and Jake start with some decent brawling. Then Hercules holds a side headlock for almost 2 minutes straight. And each time Roberts comes back, he hits a rest hold on Jake to slow down his offense, as Jake likes to brawl. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jake hit a DDT and got the victory at 10:06. So Jake the Snake withheld all the rest holds by Hercules. The match was paced well. The rest holds didn't get repetitive, and they were in all the right spots. They were in all the logical areas, and it made sense for where they were put. So I give this 2 stars and a quarter. Next up, we have the main event. It's the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks. Jesse Ventura is the ref. Bobby Heenan is at ringside. So it was a question of how are Hogan and Savage going to get out of this. Andre the Giant, DiBiase, Ventura, and Heenan all at the ring. Well, the Hogan and Savage had a trick up their sleeve, or down their skirt, as Miss Elizabeth came to the ring too. So she was definitely handy, as we'll see. Savage and Hogan were both so over at the time, but Randy especially was never more over than halfway into his WWF title reign here in the summer of '88. Andre even did some moves that were better than his usual repertoire. He would move around to choke people out, still not running the ropes and everything, but his choking spots, he looked more athletic in this match than he did at, say, WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania 4. DiBiase had to do a lot of the quick spots, obviously, when he's selling, bumping from the Mega Powers, and when he needs to be the one to dish in the offense, because it can't just be Andre with his chokeholds. This one had good chemistry. It went inside the ring and outside the ring, and all of a sudden Elizabeth on the apron, when they were in control, took her skirt off and revealed her panties or whatever, her low undergarments, and Jesse Ventura, the ref, just had the same expression we all did, and because Elizabeth was not like this, she's not the type of lady that would do such a thing, but her mega powers were in jeopardy here. Savage hit a double axe handle to Andre, which took him out of the ring. The force took Andre out of the ring, and then he had an elbow on DiBiase, followed by a Hogan leg drop, and they got the victory. So the Mega Powers defeated the Mega Bucks. I give this match 3 stars and a quarter. So 2 3-star matches by my count: Demolition Heart Foundation and this one. This one, other than those 2 matches, had some decent singles matches and some not decent single matches. I give the event a 5.5 out of 10 for SummerSlam 1 here in 1988 from MSG. That's the SummerSlam 88 review, a 5.5 out of 10. Semi-good. A lot of too many short filler matches, but a couple of good take 2 matches and a few decent single ones, and nostalgia because it's the first SummerSlam. So anyways, that's my rating, 5.5 out of 10 for SummerSlam 88. Come back for SummerSlam 89. I'm Brett Mix, that's my opinion, and I am out. See ya.